So a couple things straight out of the gate. You're in one of the earliest prototype vehicles of GX. We have to keep that in mind while we're driving off-road because there are things we'll experience that won't be present in a full production version. Most of the car is finished. We're in a 97% finished vehicle. Aside from plastics and a few traction control systems, we're not really going to see any changes between what we see right now and what we see in a production car. For instance, your instrumentation cluster and your infotainment screen are the exact same sizes we'll see in every trim of GX. However, you might not have noticed, but our screen just jumped back to the main menu. That's a quirk of the prototype, unfortunately. If that happens, we want to press that offer information screen. Excellent. That's now going to show us all of our data we need to know about what's happening underneath the car. We're in rock mode right now, even though we're on one giant slab of rock, because if we lift a tire off the ground, we want traction control systems supercharged to be able to grab the wheel that's spinning and send power to the other three. The last thing we need to do to get you going, however, is turn on crawl control. So we're going to press the DAC crawl button. Downhill assist control and crawl control are in the same button for low range. We have the speed set to our lowest possible speed range, which is about 3/4 mile per hour. And I want you to do your best to traverse the log crawl here. All you need to do is keep both hands on the wheel and take both feet off the pedals. Crawl control is going to do the rest.
As soon as he comes back around, we'll stop him at the top before we take you to the other side.
What's interesting about crawl control is that it's very calculative. So it's actually working through the problem in real time, not simply pursuing this 3/4 mile per hour speed setting. It doesn't work like traditional cruise control in that it's aiming to get to that set speed. It's actually more concerned with what's happening inside the car and at all 4 tires, constantly taking readings from all the vital systems and choosing when to pause, like right there, to settle the car and then continue. Crawl control seems like a bit of a novelty in a setting like this because essentially all it's doing is applying the gas and brake. But you have to think about the vital circumstances in which you can't tell which tire has traction when driving from a single pedal off-road. Sand, snow, ice, mud. All of those terrain types are better traversed with crawl control because crawl control is going to extricate the best possible grip from the tires that have the most motivation forward. You go ahead and press on the gas a little bit and we're going to walk up to the balance beam. I'll stop right there for just 1 second. So one of the things we have to note about our camera system is that while we have this really cool trisected view of cameras called multi-terrain monitor, one of the problems you have with a single fisheye lens is sometimes there's warping. And so in order to get the most accurate view of what's happening in front of us, we can see those yellow lines are showing us that we're actually going to end up traveling inside of the balance beam. Right now, at least, from where we're positioned, except they're wrong. Those lines are designed to show us where we're traveling on flat ground. So what I'd like you to do is press the view button one more time, right there. Excellent. We're going to get a digitized view of the front tires. So we now see the front axle, except there's a transparency to it, so we can see what's quote-unquote happening at the ground. Everything in front of the blue line is live camera. Everything behind the blue line, between the tires, is a picture. It's a live representation of what's happening. If you turn your steering wheel all the way left for me, you're going to see those steering wheels turn. If you start rolling forward, once your steering wheel is straight, you're going to see those tires, the animations of them also rotate. The Band-Aid shape is your tire shadow, and the black bar across the middle is your contact patch. It's accurate within about 1 inch or 2, so it's actually a very useful tool for going across tight spaces. When you're ready, you can come off the brake, and we're going to see you use those cameras to get across the balance beam. Excellent. So our front tire is about to come down off the balance beam. A little bit of a weird noise. It's just the wet rubber on the wood. And we're going to stop right here. Go ahead and press on the brake pedal for me. Excellent. You've already done it. We're just adjusting to that rear axle view just to make sure we can see those rear tires coming off. You can go ahead and come off the brake again. Again, a bit of a novelty here in a parking lot, but once you're on a cliff edge or coming off that sharp rock, wanting to figure out exactly where your tires are, it's a wealth of data you would otherwise have to get out of the car to get yourself. So think of it like your digital spotter, showing you what's happening around the car at all times. I'm going to have you spin around and I'll meet you at the articulation. So, the goal of the articulations here is to stress the suspension on GX to its highest possible degree. So we're going to compress the suspension as high as we can. We're going to extend the suspension as low as it can go at all four corners. You have to pick a very specific line in order to make that happen. And the line's actually very easy to hit with that digitized view of that front axle. So let's go ahead and hit that camera view button one more time. Now you're going to try and place your front right tire on the middle log for that first log raft, right? That's the first one we're experiencing. Once your front right tire is up there, you need to be looking to your front left tire to line it up on this raft. But the trick of this is don't rely exclusively on that digital representation of your tire. It's your initial guide. And then I want you to look over here. See my fingers on this red line on the screen? So this is your front tire right here. If you see a single log on the left-hand side, that means you're on the middle one. That means where your right's supposed to be. So use all of the tools at your disposal, and you're gonna come off that gas, let crawl control make the motivation happen, and you're gonna pick the ideal line. Excellent. Checking those side view cameras. Stop right there, foot on the brake. Now, I wish I could give you a view of the outside of the car because it's actually quite remarkable. The front axle right now, the front tires, your front right's all the way up, your front left's all the way down. It's the opposite at the back. We're sitting in what's called a cross axle. Right now, we're twisting the nose to the left. We're twisting the tail to the right. We're effectively taking the frame and trying to twist it. What this shows is good frame strength. It also shows good dexterity because your back left tire is nearly touching the wheel wells, nearly all the way up in the actual body of the car, but your front left tire is barely touching the ground, but it is touching the ground. If you take a premium or a luxury and you place them in this exact same spot, their front left tire would be about 4 inches off the ground. Because Overtrail is not a tire package, it's not a presentation package, it's not a color package, it's a physical change-up of the whole suspension, including a system we call EKDSS. And EKDSS is simply a follow-up to KDSS. It's an active sway bar control. When you're ready to go forward, you can come off the brakes, keep both hands on the wheel. And that lurching you're feeling is just traction control, dealing with traction loss of the front left tire. Nice job. So you're about to go see Tarzan up here, our resident off-roading maniac, Ken. He's going to take you through the side tilt. We've designed the side tilt with 2 different degrees of tilt. The left side, of course, being the easier of the 2. The right side, you can see, is a little bit taller. Every GX is tested to well upwards of 40 degrees worth of side tilt. The chassis is well balanced. The center of gravity is very low. As you can see, what Ken's actually pointing out right now is he's pointing to EKDSS. He's pointing to the hydraulic sway bar hammers that control the system, so people are able to see exactly what's happening there. You might think that we should be higher up on the side tilt. You can see there's barely any tire up there on the log, but importantly, think about if you were to fill the cabin with water, where all the weight would be. All the weight is on the downhill tire, so that vehicle's very well balanced right now. It has a tremendous amount of grip because it's sitting down in that cement ditch. So you're going to go through here in just a second, and Ken's going to walk you through what to do to get the highest possible side tilt.
Just keep coming right like that. And we're just going to let crawl control do its thing. Back this way a little bit. There we go, straight. I'm losing track. Oh, you drove this already. Right?
No, I haven't driven. I was in the
But you're
passenger
on the
seat.
side, so
Yep,
that's why
yep,
we
yep.
brought you over to this side. Go ahead and take your foot off the brake. We're going to roll forward just a little bit farther. Keep going. Another 6 inches, 4 inches, and stop right there. That's what 30 degrees feels like. So again, at 30 degrees where we're parked here, this is not going anywhere. There's nothing I could do to get this thing to go. But at this point, we don't know how you pack the truck. I don't know how fast you're driving. I don't know what you're driving on. So in our recommendation, the safest bet is to slow down and pull it back down off the hill. Any questions?
No, sir.
Nicely done. Now, once you get down with the next truck that comes up, actually for here, can I get you to spin the wheel hard left all the way to full lock? So this is the EKD okay. So that little recording thing inside there, when we get back on the highway, we suck it up tight against the frame, and that's what puts all the torque back in the swivel. By allowing it to droop, it softens how much pressure it takes to twist that bar, and that's what allows to give us so much travel here. All right, go ahead and spin it back straight, and right there, and take your foot off the brake, and we'll let the crawl take it down. And again, if you watch the front tire, that's perfect.